Hey guys, I'm Stephen John Phillips and welcome to Thesis Photography. How is everybody? Hey, okay, well here's my space that I work in so you guys can see I collect all kinds of art and sort of object day art, and I like a lot of urban vinyl toys and whatnot. So I asked you guys to do a video, let us know what you're all about in a video autobiography, so to speak. So I'm going to do that for you as well, and also tell you a little bit about the class. This is Thesis. Thesis is kind of the end of the road for a lot of you guys, and it's very, very simple if we look at the actual course info. In this course, you will work with the instructor to design extended personal project, both conceptually and physically. This work will constitute a significant part of the graduating portfolio. And that's exactly what it is. I mean, this is all about you finding a concept, something that you love, and working with it. And we're going to go into all kinds of extended versions of this and talk about details and everything else. But that's really kind of what the crux of the class is all about. So I think probably at this point, I'm going to show you a few things. You guys can look at my resume if you want to on my website. My website is just stephenjohnphillips.com. I will put it in the classroom threads as well if you're interested. You can look at my resume and whatnot there. I sort of am a very kind of eclectic photographer. I also do a lot of photo illustration. I do a lot of magazine work. I also do these photographic novels. This is one with DC Comics that was called I Paparazzi. Sorry, the glare is a little intense. But if you look at it, it is all purely, it's a photographic comic book. They don't like to call it that. They call it a graphic novel. But it is a photographic comic book. So I do a lot of these. This is kind of a crossover type thing. I also do a lot of advertising and photo illustration. Here's a little mini book. We'll talk about different kinds of portfolios and whatnot in here too. These are all very simple kind that slide in and out. Again, you guys can see a lot of these images on my website if you're interested and you like to. I work a lot with the nude figure. You can look me up, just Google me, you'll find lots of information there as well, again, if you're interested. I have a lot of different sizes. I still have and get requests for portfolios. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I do a lot of mixed media type stuff, drawing into photographs, whatnot. Again, you can look through these. These are some covers. Here's an ad campaign I did for Simpson Racing. I do a lot of advertising work as well. So I have different portfolios. Here's one that I show from time to time whenever I go. A lot of people are like, oh, you don't need to have a portfolio anymore. Let me tell you something. I get work all the time because of this stuff. Especially if I'm going to go in for a meeting. Like if I have, and I call an ad agency and they're like, okay, come in and show us your book. For a little while I played with like showing stuff on an iPhone. It is what it is. Some people really like it, but, then I'll break out something like this, which is a portfolio of 16 by 20 prints. And again, the glare is not going to be good for these. But you guys can get the idea. This is the kind of stuff that I really want to wow people with. And it does because of the size, because the whole, it's like a whole experience for people. And they're definitely going to, going to take notice. I do a lot of different things, but look at how much a lot of the commercial work, here's one for the Maryland Ballet, a set of posters. Look how much the commercial work really does resemble my fine art stuff as well. I mean, it's all the same thing. There might be a little bit more clothing in some of the commercial work, but that isn't always the case either. So I have a lot of different stuff that I'll show you guys kind of as we go. There's so much in this business about promoting yourself and promoting your art. We'll touch on some of that, but this class is all about building a body of work. I've had a lot of work that I've done, some of them really conceptual, some of them very simple. For a while when I was teaching on ground, everybody had a mohawk. It was kind of trendy. So it was like, okay, I really want to photograph these people, but I don't want them to look punk, or I wanted them to have that sort of timeless feel. So what I did was take a lot of those people out of context, and I did something almost similar to Curtis's images of the Indians that were taken years ago, the sepia-toned images. So sometimes I'll take something from one genre and put it in another. But that was a body of work. It was called The Last of the Mohicans. I got in a car accident one time and had to go to physical therapy. So I did a body of work that was all about like rub downs and massages and braces and all of those different things. And that all came from me having to go to physical therapy. The best work, I think, is the work that comes from within you, that really does inspire you. And that's what this class is all about. It's all about being inspired. We're going to start out, we're going to look at photographers that influence us, and then we're going to figure out how to take that influence and make it our own. So that's a really big part of the class. Again, I'm going to show you stuff a great deal as we go along. But, here in the beginning, some of the most important stuff is going to be about coming up with the actual idea. I have in front of me the course overview, thesis proposal, characteristics of a series, historic projects, project development, representing your work, assessing your work. Representing yourself is something, too, that you guys have got to learn. Nobody's going to love your work as much as you do. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So you're going to have to figure out how to make them love it as much and figure out how to make it represent you. The key here is to stand out. The key here is to not have them be able to go and buy work in stock photography. They want exactly what you do. So you have to make your work special enough in order to do that. And then when it is special, you have to figure out how to get it out there. Here's a magazine that's called Design Graphics. When I did the first graphic novel, I sent them a thing and I said, look, you guys should do an article about this. It's really kind of an unusual technique. And so I instigated it. I do it all the time. Here it is. The cutting edge of comic design comes to life in veils. Here's a whole thing about how these graphic novels were created with kind of a how-to section and everything else. Sketches, stuff that I worked from. Again, you guys have to become your own advocate, and we'll talk about that in this class as well. Here's another thing. I had some friends. I'm originally from Baltimore. I'm in San Diego now, but this was done. It was called Edgy Baltimore, and it was an article all about the really fun, interesting stuff that was going on. There's one of mine. Here's another advertising piece. This was a photo illustration, actually, that I did on the idea of spontaneous human combustion, people catching fire from within. But I got together with a couple of my friends and was like, look, we got to figure out how to get some more work here. So basically, we approached this magazine and said, hey, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on in Baltimore. You should look at it. And we sent them our stuff. We got this great article in Print Magazine. And let me tell you, I did a lot better that year than I did a lot of other years. A lot of people saw this. So there we go. Pretty much that's what this class is all about in a nutshell. You're going to read through this stuff. And again, if you're really interested and want to look at more of my work, you're absolutely welcome. Just go to stephenjohnphillips.com. And also, I do the advanced blog. in the PSPN. So take a look there because I do something called Workforce Wednesday, which is all about getting a job and whatnot. Check that out. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I update that as well. So, hey, I'm really looking forward to this class. You know, this is kind of really fun for me. So I hope it'll be fun for you guys as well. So, okay. Hey, nice to meet everybody. Thanks for listening, and I will see you in class. Okay, bye-bye.